On February 9, 2015, it was formally announced that Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures came to a deal to share the character rights of Spider-Man and incorporate him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a one-time deal of 5 pictures, first introducing him in Captain America Civil War, then have his own standalone movie, which will be Spider-Man Homecoming, have him also in the next 2 Avengers movies and the follow-up to Spider-Man Homecoming. It's July 5th, 2017, and this is my spoiler-free review for Spider-Man Homecoming. I really enjoyed his introduction in Captain America Civil War and looked forward to seeing where his story would go. By the way, those of you over here in the UK who like to collect Blu-ray steelbooks, Zavi.com put out the pre-order for Spider-Man Homecoming by midnight, and the Blu-ray steelbooks all sold out around 8 a.m. So those of us who actually have to sleep got screwed over. And this is a shitty practice by Zavi, who usually puts out Blu-ray Steelbook pre-orders by midday. But not to fret, ladies and gentlemen, HMV, who I expected to do something like this, has put out 2 Steelbooks. One, the so-called Zavi exclusive, and 2, a 4K Blu-ray Steelbook. So back to the review. So as I was watching the movie, I felt like this is right. It felt like a Spider-Man that I had been reading from the comics for the past couple of years. It felt like a flow between the J. Michael Straczynski run of the comics as well as Brian Michael Bendis' run of Ultimate Spider-Man. It just felt really good watching it. I can see many people not liking this movie because it focuses more on Peter Parker than Spider-Man after the events of Civil War. The film actually starts right at the end of the events of the first Avengers movie, then jumps a few years later into the events of Captain America Civil War, but the main part of the story starts right after that airport battle in Captain America Civil War. Something else I enjoyed in the movie but I thought I would not enjoy due to the trailers was the use of the costume, because the trailers made it look like it was a heavily tech-driven costume. But after watching the movie, it wasn't really like that. Yes, the costume had its capabilities and other stuff like that, but the trailers kind of did it a disservice because that is not necessarily how the costume was. It wasn't necessarily tech-heavy driven or anything like that. The movie felt fresh, more light-hearted than the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, but whilst still having some of that intensity to it. Possibly the best Spider-Man movie since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Yes, the story focuses on a younger Peter Parker, but in doing so, it allows us to see how a 15-year-old superhero finds it difficult speaking to a girl he likes. It shows us how smart Peter Parker is, and it shows us that he wants to do good, but he wants to also be given the chance to show that he can do some good. Something that most of us should be able to relate to as well. The composition by Michael Giacchino was quite good, one of his better ones, as he kind of has a hit and miss ratio. You know, like Star Wars Rogue One, you don't really feel his compositions have any impact on the movie. But Doctor Strange was quite good. His composition on that was good as well. And also, when you see the Marvel logo come up, it was quite good when they did play the music they played on it. Like all other Marvel Studios movies, this one is heavily influenced by the Ultimate Comics lineup written by Brian Michael Bendis. And you can see it because his friend Ned Leeds is a clone of Genki Lee, Miles Morales' friend in the Ultimate Comics lineup. Some of the other characters are really good, but as I said before, some liberties have been taken creatively with those characters, but if you can look past it, you probably enjoy it. The character of Spider-Man is primarily based in Queens, New York, so don't expect him web swinging through skyscrapers or anything like that, because one of the things that the film does is it puts him away from tall buildings, high rises or anything like that, which helps the story along. And also there's something else they do. They give him a fear of heights, which works a lot given the way the story is told. Some might think the film is boring because it does not have many set pieces, and the fact that it focuses primarily on Peter Parker rather than Spider-Man. but I believe that works better because that's how it is in the comics. Peter Parker is always the main character, not Spider-Man. It also had the best use of Aunt May in any other Spider-Man movie. She was really encouraging, very nurturing, very helpful, because Peter was young and, she was trying to steer him in the path of like being a good person. And yeah, I kind of feel like she was really good in that. Marissa Tomei did a good job in that. There are references to characters and elements of Spider-Man comic books that if you're aware of it, you'll be excited for it. But if you're not, you won't really care about it unless someone points it out to you. And to those people who would like to believe that Zendaya's character of Michelle is Mary Jane, no, she is not. That's just the studio trying to troll you. It was nice to see Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan again. Well, he was basically the middleman to Tony Stark. He kind of got irritated by Peter in the movie, but eventually kind of warmed up to him, I think, anyway. We definitely got to see a different side to Tony Stark in this movie because he was basically the mentor figure in it. So he seemed more responsible and more critical of Peter because he did not want Peter to screw up like he did. And it kept on going back to relationships between Tony and his father, and it was nicely juxtaposed with what was going on between him and Peter. I don't mean for this to seem like a negative, but it seemed like Robert Downey Jr. was taking his role as Tony Stark a whole lot more seriously in this movie than he has been in his other previous Marvel movies. Now, onto my absolute favorite thing about the movie, and that is the Vulture. Or should I say Michael Keaton. I mean, I love Michael Keaton. He's a fantastic actor. Once again, Marvel Studios does something I absolutely love, and that is their villains. I mean, Adrian Toomes is incredibly relatable. Everything that leads him into becoming a villain is justified. I mean, when you hear him talk, when you hear him mention everything that he has gone through, or what he has to do to look after his family, you're like, shit, that makes sense. I will probably do the same thing if I was in your position. And they did that as well with Baron Zemo, or with Zemo in Captain America Civil War. He was incredibly relatable. If you were in the same position as him, you probably do what he did. Check out the wingspan on those things. I mean, come on, Sam Wilson will probably get jealous about this and want the Tinkerer to upgrade his Falcon costume. Keaton was charming when he had to be, but when he had to be intimidating, goodness was he intimidating. I mean, there was a scene between him and Tom Holland that I don't even think Tom Holland was able to look him in the eye while they were shooting that scene. All in all, this was one of the better Spider-Man movies. It was fresh, it was different, and I look forward to seeing him in more Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And I really hope that somehow, some way, Sony and Marvel are able to extend their contract, because I would love to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in a bunch of more Marvel movies in the future. Oh, one more thing. The post-credit scenes, they are two, and the second one is hysterical, it's hilarious. Some people might think it's pointless, but it's kind of meta. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. As I said before, not too many people will like this movie. In fact, many people will go in ready to hate it, no matter what. What I will say about this as well is many people have been begging for Spider-Man to go into the MCU, and now that he has, they also had some caveats. Basically, they did not want to see him get bitten by the spider again. They did not want to see the death of Uncle Ben. And this movie has none of it. And I've been seeing some reviewers saying that it should have had that in the movie. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. You're asking for one thing not to happen, and now that you get it, you're complaining that they listen to you. And that's my review, or at least that's all I can think to say about the movie for the moment. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. if anything, please like message. I mean, yeah, just send me a message. Leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one, guys. Thank you again. Thanks a lot again for watching this video. Take care. Also, the marketing for this movie was terrible, especially from the second trailer. They started showing way too much, way too soon with all the new clips, and primarily selling people on the fact that Iron Man is in the movie. Almost like they didn't have confidence in it when they should have. They showed so much that led people to believe they had seen a majority of the movie when they had not. And those people would have already made their mind up about not going to see it. I suggest you watch this movie even if you think you have seen everything. By the way, when I went to the cinema, I bumped into this guy. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great one.